Good afternoon, awesome people. It's your girl Sika in the house. I hope we're all doing good. I do apologize for today's late transmission or coming live. We haven't had our regular Sunday discussion with my very own sister Ikwamwa because August is quite a busy month, unfortunately, for us all, and there's just a lot of other activities going on in the background, but I still made the time to come and say hello to us, hoping that I can catch one or two or three people who are on here and we can have a discussion. I just want you all to know I'm still here, very much alive by the grace of God, and really super pumped and energized going forward. So welcome to the house. I want to see some love hearts so I know I'm actually talking to my brothers and my sisters in real time, that you can hear me, and we're going to have an awesome discussion here. I like it when discussions are interactive, so please feel free to express yourself, share an opinion, and let's have this banter and come to a place where we are all elevated as a people. We're educated, we're bearing up and paying attention to things that actually matter in the things that we do in our daily lives. So good afternoon, everyone from sunny Calgary. One of the things that happens in our daily lives, whether we like it or not, is an aspect of our lives that we can't ignore. We're all human beings. There comes a point in our lives that we have other people that we want to spend time with, we want to be in relationships with, we want to spend our lives around, men that we love, and we think we found the one that we want to be with. But there's certain things that I find a lot of my brothers and in this particular video, my sisters turning a blind eye to or ignoring in the earlier days. And then it ends up creating a whole host of issues because you haven't paid attention to the things that are important when they were important. And so, like anything, when it starts off small and you don't deal with it and you allow it to fester, it becomes much bigger problems in later times. And so here are some of the things that I've come across and heard a lot of people make discussions and talk about. And I think it's quite crucial and important that we all, me inclusive, pay attention to all of these things. If you're not already in a committed relationship, then my darling, this is very much for you because you have the opportunity to pick and choose wisely. The first thing that I'm going to say is if you're dating or in a relationship with somebody, a man, who does not want to put any definition to your relationship, my sister, you have to pay particular attention. You see, a lot of us women, when we get to certain ages, we feel our biological clocks are ticking. Everybody around us is getting married. This person that I went to school with, who is 10 years my junior, has found a man. Me, I'm in my 30s, I'm early 40s, I'm 50, and I still can't even find a man. And I find that with time, we let our guard down. We lower our standards. We know the core principles. There are certain things in every single one of us that we can't ignore, we can't negotiate on. There's no compromise on certain aspects of our lives. For me, for example, I can never date a smoker because nicotine is something that I can't stand the smell of. So I can't be in the same space as somebody who smokes. That's my prerogative. I can't do it. You know yours. You pick yours. But that's just one of the examples. So if you're dating or in a relationship with somebody and that person does not want to put any definition to the relationship that you have, whether married, my woman, my queen, relationship, my girlfriend, my fiance, whatever it happens to be, but you, Esi, Ifya, you know that being in a committed relationship with a title is something that matters to you. There are some women who want to get married. The sole purpose of being in a relationship with a man is because you want that man to make an honorable person of you. You want that man to get married to you. You want that man to be engaged to you. You want that man to profess you to the whole world that you're their girlfriend, you're their woman, you're their queen, whatever title it is that takes your fancy. You want that. And now, if that is what you want, then from day one, you need to let Kofi know that, my darling, if you and I are going to rumble, you have to understand that my end game, the end expectation that I am expecting from you is that you ought to put a ring on the finger. You need to call me your wife. So if this relationship is some kind of a joke to you, where you think we're just going to be humping and having fun and doing all kinds of fanciful things and not have no real definition to our relationship, my love, then let's call it a day. But a lot of us don't do that. We are happy. We found somebody. There's no definition to the relationship. You've not expressed what your expectations are, that this man, if he's really serious, if he really wants to hang around you, he has to understand that this has to go somewhere. So just because somebody says you're beautiful, oh, you're such a beautiful woman. Oh, I love your smile so much. Your eyes are so pretty. It's as radiant as the morning star. You get so excited about that. And if he says he wants you, he loves you, you're so important to him, and he takes me out, he buys me dinner, he pays for it all the time. He's always buying you flowers. He's doing all those things. You just assume that because he's doing all of those things, he comes to you. Some women actually think that because the man sleeps with me every weekend or 3 times a week in their relationship, it means that he wants me so much that he's going to make an honorable person of me. 2 years have come and gone, he's not saying anything. 5 years have come and gone, he's not saying anything. 10 years have come and gone, he's still not said anything about making an honorable person of you. And you know that what you're expecting is that the person should marry you. He's not saying anything, and you're just assuming that, oh, maybe he's just not ready. You know, these days the economics are so difficult, times are so hard, so maybe it's just that he hasn't been able to put enough money aside. Then one day, when you master the courage to ask him, so what are we doing? We've been doing things that married people are supposed to do. You come, you sleep in my house every weekend. I'm cooking for you. I'm cleaning for you. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. What are we? The person now laughs in your face and says, well, we're just having fun. And you're shocked that the person says that to you. But honey, you never made your intentions clear from the very beginning that what you were expecting from any kind of person who is hanging around you, taking off your time, your emotion and everything, your feelings, is that it's going to end up in marriage. If you're giving everything for free and the person is able to milk the cow for free, get all the meat parts for free, everything, the hide, the ear, the tongue, the flesh, the legs, everything for free, where is the incentive to do anything? The thing is free now. Why should I go and pay for something that I should get for free? And this is the thinking of a lot of our brothers. And we women, because we lay our guard down, we put everything there, we just think, oh, thank you so much, Sister Dorcas. God richly bless you. You really know how to love me. I love you right back. Mwah. He does all these fanciful things, so, it must be the natural progression. No, have you asked him the question? When you started and he said he loves you and your eyes as radiant as the morning star, did you actually ask this fella where he thinks this relationship should be? What are his goals and expectations? Is this just help me finish my course? Is this just bumping and grinding? Have you defined a relationship? Are you happy with bumping and grinding and no commitment? If you're happy with it, then you've all agreed that that's what you're doing. It's friends with benefits and you're keeping each other company. You've agreed that. Then that's fine. Then there's no feelings that are hurt because right from the outset it was out there that is what you guys were doing. So there's no pain, There's no hard feelings. You're giving yourself to him willingly because that's what you want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want, who am I to judge you that, hey, this is wrong? It's you. So if that's what is going to work for you, if that's the sort of relationship you want, just bumping and grinding, keep each other company, that's all you want. You're at an age where you don't want to know commitment. This is what you want. That one is your own problem. You have decided what you want, and with him, you have defined your relationship. But an awful lot of times, I find my sisters who actually want marriage. They want a man that they can wake up with every morning. They want a man that they can call their own. They want a man who will be the headship of her home. She's looking for a husband. But she never asked this boyfriend whether he wants to be husband. She never asked him what his expectation and his goals were for the whole relationship to start with. You just thought that because he said he loved you, because he says you're the most beautiful person he has ever seen, set his eyes on in this life, it must therefore mean that what he actually wants is marriage. Did you ask him? Did he tell you that that's what he wanted? And so I'm finding that a lot of my sisters are getting disappointed because you've invested so much in a relationship. You've cooked, you've cleaned, you've washed his bedding, you've cooked for him, you've cleaned his bathroom, you're doing everything. You're applying for jobs, fixing his resume, going out there, buying things for him, and he hasn't made an honorable person of you, and you are upset about it. I actually know a sister who was with this guy for 10 years. 10 years. Okay, going to his house every weekend, sweeping, mopping, cleaning the place, going to the market, buying food, coming to his house, cooking, spending her whole weekend when she should be resting herself for another week ahead, cooking for this fella. And then when it came down to it, he said, oh, he had this conference that he had to go somewhere in a different city. And so he'll come back in 2 weeks' time. Not knowing that this guy was actually going to get married. She found out about it when she saw people posting pictures of this so-called boyfriend with another woman online, Instagram. So, honey, if you meet somebody and they come and tell you they want you, this, that, and the other, my advice to you, let your expectations of relationship be known from day one. If marriage is what you want, please say so from the beginning. If he doesn't want to marry, let him go so that you're not disappointed. And some of us also think that, oh, okay, maybe today he doesn't want marriage, but as time goes on, I can convince him to now see the need for marriage and change his mind. Honey, unless you're dating a young boy, you're dating a toddler, an infant, a teenager, a full-grown man who knows how to rumble and tumble, already knows what it is they want from the beginning. So please stop kidding yourself into thinking that you can use yourself and the way you behave to change his mind about whether he wants to be married or he doesn't want it. If he doesn't want marriage, he doesn't want marriage. Ain't nothing you're going to do that's going to change that mind. Don't think that if you do kangaroo style with him in bed and all the other girls can only do mosquito style, that your kangaroo style is going to convince him that he has to change from wanting bumping and grinding for free to marriage. It's not going to happen. I don't want you to get disappointed. I don't want you to set a high bar for this person and end up being the one crying in the rain. There's so many young ladies that have wasted valuable time on men that they were assuming. They didn't even ask them. It's assumption. They were doing assumption. You were assuming that he wants marriage when actually all he wanted was a piece of the pudding. Now he has been eating this pudding for 5 years. He still doesn't want to pay for the pudding because he's getting it for free. Why should he pay? Why? You ask yourself the question. If you can get things for free, why should you pay for them? Why? It's good service. You get meals on wheels, cooking for you every weekend. She's not even in your space, so during the week you can actually do what you want. And then at the weekend, yeah, when she comes to your house, you give her some nice 2 rounds and you tell her, I'm going to watch football with my friends. I'll see you later. By the time you come back, she's made egusi, she's made pounded yam, she's cooked jollof, she's made chicken, everything. What's not to like about that kind of a relationship? If you're lucky, you buy the things and leave them there for you. Come and cook them. Who doesn't want that? Who? I'm telling you, honey, if you know marriage is what you want, lay your cards on the table from the word get-go. Let the brother know. Ain't no free cookie for nothing. If you want Meals on Wheels, put a ring on it because that's the expectation. So everybody understands. Everybody know where they stand and there's no hard feelings with what you guys are choosing to do. Please, I beg of you. The second thing that I want to talk about, and it's actually a very popular one, I guess it's a broken record, but I still have to say it because I'm seeing a lot of my sisters who had the writing on the wall and they are still going ahead to make these same grave mistakes, and some of them are ending up 6 foot under. I'm sorry that I'm being so emotional about it, but I'm just sick and tired of those kinds of stories. And I want it to stop. And the buck stops with we girls shining our eyes and being woke. Any man who lays a finger at you, any man who has anger issues they haven't dealt with, traumatic experiences that they haven't dealt with, and he starts off and he's verbally abusive towards you, he says the most insane, horrific, insensitive things to you, or worse, lays a finger at you physically, and you think that it's a good thing. You can change them. Honey, you'll be changing them and you'll be 6 foot under, and you'll be 6 foot under still trying to change this person. It is not your job to change anybody. Any man who wants to be in a relationship with you needs to be an adult just like you and be available in every sense of the word to want to be in this relationship with you. And so if you're unequally yoked, then there's just simply no point for starting this whole thing in the first place. And I see a lot of people who these days, because of all the things that have happened, all the amazing women that we've lost and are still losing. Last year, we were all here. Osinachi died. Bimbo died. However many people that have lost their lives tragically in this whole thing, I can't begin to continue to name. And there are people still losing and perishing till today. There was Barbara in Florida a few years back, 2 or so years ago. She also isn't here with us anymore. A lot of people are going through this thing. So now, there's a bit more of an awareness, and a lot of people, I say some people, have become a bit more, about it and are prepared to leave. But people are leaving from the situations where the man is physically laying fingers at you. Some people actually wait for 20 years, and then one day their common sense comes, and then, they have this awakening and they leave. But then there are still women who are staying in relationships that are verbally abusive, because you see, with those ones, the scars are hidden. The trauma is within. Nobody gets to see that one. There's no physical evidence for anybody to see that this is what you're being subjected to. But the truth of the matter is that I'm not going to pitch one as more important or less significant more than the other. But I'm going to say to you that in my mind, verbal abuse is worse. At least when somebody hits you, there's a wound or whatever and it heals. It could take your life, that's true. So you shouldn't stay anyway. But with the verbal one, there's nothing for you to physically, tangibly hold on to or show anybody that, look, this is the evidence that I'm being verbally abused. It's internalized and you're traumatized by it. When you see and listen to some of the horrific things that certain men say in describing the women that have had children with them, the women that have spent their lives with them, you will be so appalled that you will cry. but you're still staying. Man has the nerve to tell all his friends that you're down below is the most stinking thing they've ever seen. He embarrasses you in public to everybody in church. He's shouting at you in front of the children, everything. And you're still staying with this man. Because verbal abuse doesn't have any scars that people can see. There's nothing to quantify. There's nothing visible for people to see. So my love, you're still staying with this man and he continues to disrespect you and turn you into a shell of yourself where you've lost all self-dignity, respect, regard for yourself as a human being. Honey, run. Run, because yeah, he may not have any physical things on you. There's no scars that people can see, but you're a shell in yourself. It's like you're a walking, not living. Do you know what I mean? Like a walking deceased. You're alive, yeah, but when we look at you, there's no substance to you because he zapped all the energy. He sucked all the goodness out of you to the point where you're just a walking, a skeleton on legs. My darling, please, please. The person who brought you here loves you so much. You matter so much. It's why you're here. Any man who can't see any worth, any value, any regard, anything to cherish about you does not deserve to lay another finger at you. Does not deserve to see the apple in between your legs ever again. So if you're choosing to stay with this person, you are saying to him indirectly that, you know what, I don't have any regard for myself. So, just do whatever you want to do. Yeah, you can have your way with me. You can do whatever. It's fine. Just, go ahead. Have your way. That's what you're saying to him. So please, please, have some respect for yourself. Like, have some worth, some value of your own. And you see, this is why I always say that being financially independent gives you options. When I say this, a lot of my sisters get so upset with me because, maybe some of them are at home, they're housewives, and their husbands are looking after them. That's all fair, well and good. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But you see, the person that you're with today has financial hold over you. Because you don't have any money to move out of your house and find somewhere else to live by yourself, you have to continue to subject yourself to this because you don't have any options. And I'm not here insinuating that if you get married and you have a fight, pack bag and baggage and leave. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that any human being who thinks that it's acceptable to look down on you and treat you as second class, as if you're nothing, you're a piece of rug to him, does not deserve to see what is in between your legs, period. And I have seen too many of my sisters. I've cried enough. I've cried enough. I've been to enough funerals where there are sisters of mine that have lost themselves so completely that they think that society and what other people have to say about them is what is going to make them count for something. So they've settled for what other people's expectations of them are, not what they want or what's going to make them happy. And a lot of people are 6 foot under. Marriage is beautiful when you found the right person to spend that marriage with. When you found the right person that will respect you and love you and profess you and protect you and provide for you. Until you found that, honey, it's better for you to be by yourself. There are so many married single women that are sat in marriages. They put on all this fanciful makeup and dress up and are on social media making all the noise. And making those of us who are not married feel that we are missing out on something. If we don't do it now, then, I just have to have just about anybody, because, men are so hard to come by these days. Some people even go to the extent of saying, this was one that I heard a few days ago, that there are more women than men. So if men don't have more than one woman in their life, some women won't have any men to marry them. So, if a man has a farm and 2 gardens, there's nothing wrong with it. People justify dysfunctional behavior with crap like that. And you're also buying it because, the people that you hang around with, the company that you keep, the people that are around you are feeding your mind with all kinds of rubbish, and you're buying into it. The older I've become, the quieter I am getting. And it's a periodic thing that is continuing to happen. I've cut so many people out of my life because I don't want no bullcrap in my ears. My company and my circles today are so small. So small. The people from my own community, I can count the number of them that are anywhere around me these days. Because I want my peace of mind. And I want to protect and guard that with my very life. If you say something untoward to me, if you make a remark that I feel is I run a mile from you. I distance myself from you. I will change my number if I have to. Because I just don't want nothing to do with you anymore. Some ladies disrespect some men so much because they feel they have everything. I'm coming to that. Me too, I've cut so many, and I love me and my grandchildren. My darling, is the best thing that you can do for yourself. Because you know how the Bible says that your mind is renewed constantly by the words that you continue to hear, because it continues to play as a record in your ears. And the people that you're hanging around and spending all this time with, the things that they're feeding you with are the things that are keeping you, you're up at night and you're worrying and you're thinking about things that they said that were hurtful, and your blood pressure is going up because people have said hurtful things to you. They've gone to bed. They're snoring. And you're sitting here worrying about it. I've been on my own for so long that I have started to fall in love with my own company so much that sometimes even stepping out of the house, getting dressed to go out is too much work for me. I love my own space. I wish there were 30 hours in the day because there's so much I want to do and I ain't even got the time to do it. By the time I do work and social media and family and this and that, I'm spread thin. I ain't got time. So whatever little time I have is so precious to me that I only want to spend that time with somebody who's going to say something that's going to inspire, motivate me, and make me happy with myself. Not somebody who's going to make me feel down on myself, miserable, that, things are not going the way I want to. Don't you think I'm already thinking about it myself? Do I have to compound my problem by facing up to it on a daily basis? So this is me. Do what works for you. But I am telling you that abusive relationships of any kind, be it physical or verbal, you need to stay the hell away from. And it's a big red flag. If you start dating a guy and you're going out and you go for lunch or dinner or whatever, watch the guy and how he behaves around other women. It's a reflection about how he's going to be with you once he starts getting comfortable around you. Watch the sorts of words that he uses when he's describing other women. It's a reflection of who that person is going to be when he gets very comfortable and relaxed around you. So you get in a cab with this guy and the fare is, let's say, $50 from wherever you got in the cab from to wherever you guys are going. You get there and He hands him $100, expecting a $50 change back. The guy only has 2 20s and a 45. So he says, I don't have any more change. This is $45. The man is still trying to figure out how to get the other $5. And then this person is up in arms and cussing and shouting and screaming over $5. Honey, mark. Have a red mark against this thing. Because you must know that somebody who is behaving like that, that is a reflection of what that person is like when his buttons are pressed. Is $5 worth you losing your dignity and respect around a woman that you are potentially wanting to spend the rest of your life with? Watch out for these, signs that you ignore. Oh, it's just I'm mad at the taxi driver. Yeah, okay. So when you're home one day and he comes back from home and you haven't been able to make lunch because you're sick, you have a migraine, you had to pop out to do something, or one of the children, like there was something else that you had to do and so you couldn't do what had to be done on time, how is he going to behave? Think about that. The next thing that I want to talk about is that there are some men who want to keep your relationship secret. And they'll tell you, oh, they are very personal and private. They don't want anything of theirs in the public domain. And I'm not saying that, look, there's some people who don't want to be on social media. My parents are like that. My dad is very private, doesn't want to be on social media. So if he doesn't want to be on social media or keep posting pictures every 5 minutes of you guys smiling, kissing, hugging, that's not the sort of thing I'm talking about. But when somebody is going out of their way to keep whatever you're doing secret, you've been dating him for 3 months, 6 months, going on to a year now. There's no single person in his life that matters to him that you know. Yeah, he's being intentional about keeping your relationship private. You haven't met any of his siblings. You don't know who the mother is. You've never spoken to any member of his family. Nobody knows you. You don't know anybody. Yeah, that is somebody who is intentionally keeping your relationship private because he doesn't really think this thing is going anywhere. You're probably not worth being introduced to anybody that matters. You cannot tell me that everybody on the surface of this planet is an island. At my age, I have 3 siblings and their spouses. They have children. I have parents. I have friends. Albeit that my circles are small, but I still have friends. And the ones who matter to me know if I'm dating somebody or if I'm not. Know who this person is. At least they have a name. We talk about that person. But if this man is going every length to make sure that nobody knows about you, nobody knows that you even exist, honey, and when you come to my house, don't tell anybody that you're in my house. I don't want you to bring any of your friends here. You should hurry up and go. Or when his friends knock on the door, go to the bedroom. I don't want my boyfriends to know that you're here, and they do all of those things. My darling, you're not that important. You're just his errand girl. You're just his goody two shoes. You come, you service him, you give him what he needs, his fix for the day or weekend or whatever, so that he can be energized to, get the week going. You cook for him. You're his mommy. You cook for him. You clean for him. You're the maid. You're the nanny. You're the au pair. You're everything. And once all that is done, bye. See you next Friday. Yeah, have a lovely weekend. And bye-bye. Yeah, thank you very much. That's all you're good for. He doesn't want the people that matter in his life to know that my daughter Evelyn exists. My daughter Philippine exists. There's somebody called Sandra in my life. Honey, run. Oh, thank you so much, daughter of Zion. I love you too. I make my wife financially stable and encourage her that she can make it with or without me. So she should explore the world to achieve her dreams. Am I risking my happy home or is it normal? To me personally, my darling, at the end of the day, iron sharpen iron. That's my own personal opinion. Any man coming into my life, it should come to the life to complement my life, not to come and take from me, make me a shell of myself, reduce me to rubble, not allow me to shine and be the better person that I can be. You're looking for somebody who supports your dreams. Do you know that there are certain men, when their wives meet them and let's say they have a degree, for example, and then they want to go and do a master's. Let's say your wife did a degree in, I don't know, she did education, so she's a teacher. She wants to do a master's in that so that she can now go from just being a classroom teacher into some administrative kind of roles so that they can get into management. Maybe one day become the head teacher of the school. Promotion, progress. That is what a husband who actually knows who he is, very comfortable in their own skin, doesn't find that they're competing with their wife in any kind of way, but supports this woman. If it means going home an hour earlier so that when she's bathed the children, you can help them with homework so that she can also finish off whatever and go sit down and study for an hour or two. Yeah, that's what I call a man who is supporting the wife to chase her dreams. Because when the wife is happy, guess what? The husband invariably is also happy. She's contented in herself, so she's bringing the best of herself to the relationship and vice versa. Today we're talking about the red flags for men. It doesn't mean there are no red flags for women. We'll come to that too next Sunday. That's what we're talking about. It's not a one-sided thing. Okay? So what is good for the goose is good for the gander too. So any man who sees his wife as a threat, your wife wants to go get a PhD done and you are a businessman, you only have a master's, and you think that because your wife is going to get a PhD and maybe she's going to earn more than you, so you refuse to support her. You are setting her up for failure. When you know that you can go and pick up the kid so she can go to her lecture, you intentionally delay and don't come back home early so that she can miss out on her lecture. Are you a demon, or are you a partner, or are you a husband? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. You see, and this all goes down to the whole premise of the relationship to begin with. What was it founded on? I am a civil engineer by profession, so I always like to describe things by structures, like buildings. A building that is able to stand the test of time has a very firm, deeply rooted foundation. You cannot put a 10-story building on a single-story foundation. It doesn't work. There's so much more load. There are 9 extra floors on that whole building that need to be supported. People are going to be sitting in it, sleeping in it, bumping and grinding in it. There are going to be beds. There are going to be all kinds of things in a 10-story building. Hey, you can't compare that to a single-story building. So the higher the building, the deeper the foundation ought to be. More reinforcement, more concrete, more iron rods, more whatever needs to go into it so that it can support the load. Similarly, when the foundations of the relationship are not defined, you haven't each sat down and talked about the things that are important to you from the get-go, and you're just so super excited that finally, at the age of 45, some man has come into my life and says, I'm so beautiful. They love me so much. So let me just be quiet. I don't want to say anything that's going to make him leave. So let me just be quiet. Let me just enjoy this time. Before you know it, 6 months have come and gone. You didn't lay any ground rules, so now you're just going with the flow. 2 years later, when you now want to set some ground rules, you've changed. You've changed. Those things should have been talked about from the very beginning, so everybody understands what it is that matters to you from the very beginning. So he's keeping you a secret. You've kept quiet. You've observed it. It's something that is happening. And that hasn't told you something that these are things that matter. Why is he hiding me? Am I not good enough? Like, am I that so disrespectful and so horrible that he can't even be proud to show me to everybody that this is my wife? But you kept quiet because you're so excited or you're so desperate that somebody's gonna even show an interest in you. So you didn't lay the ground rules about what you want from the very beginning. So he's taking it as, okay, you're happy with anything. You're an everything goes kind of person, so it's all fine. There is something that I'm going to say now that is going to be very controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway because I've been thinking about it so much. And I just want to hear what because I can see that my brother is here. Osai, God bless you, sir, for being here. Thank you so much. And I really want to hear my brother's take on this. And I want to hear any other brother who's in the house. Please, I want your opinion on this. I have a big problem with any man who starts a relationship and starts saying that this relationship is going to be 50-50 right from the outset. It's going to be a 50-50 relationship. 50-50, 50-50. We're going to be a 50-50 relationship. I'll give an example here. I'm sitting somewhere and then Brother Peter comes to me and he says, I'm taking you out for lunch today. Let's go out for dinner. I didn't ask you to take me out to dinner. You decided that you want to take me out to dinner. Fine. I get dressed, we go out to dinner, we sit down, we've eaten the food, and let's say it all costs $200 by the end of the night. The starter, the main course, whatever. We've eaten and it costs $200. You asked to take me out. Okay. The bill comes and this brother is expecting us to go halves. Well, let's go halves on it. Let's go Dutch. So now he's taking the receipt and he's now calculating. I ate, what did I have? I had, what did I have for spring rolls? Okay, that was $12. Then the main course, I had fried rice and chicken and how many okay, I think I only had 2 steaks. So yeah, so that's $45. So 12 and 45, that's 57. Any man who starts doing that to you, you must know that there are going to be some nice fundamental issues with your finances going forward. You haven't even asked me out. I haven't said yes to you. We have just started relationship and you are already taking calculator. $12 for spring roll, $45 for fried rice and chicken. Oh, I only had 2 cans of Coke. It's $8 each. So see, any person who starts doing that to you from the very beginning, my love, run. I know you can afford it. Maybe you make $100,000 or $200 is nothing. Okay, it's okay. Let me just pay it. I had a friend who was asked out. She got ready. She said she had her own misgivings about it, but she said, okay, he asked me out. So she got ready. He picked her up. They went. They sat down. They had dinner, everything. The bill comes, and then the guy says, let me see. I can't seem to find my wallet. I had it. Like when I left the house, I thought I had it, but this man says he didn't have money. And it was so embarrassing. Like, it was a huge, well-known hotel. And my friend, the last thing she wants is to draw any attention to herself. So she had to take out her credit card. Thankfully, she picked her purse. And she paid for the thing. Oh, I would e-transfer. I would e-transfer the money. Don't worry about it. I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. We are still waiting. It's been 2 years now. He has still not e-transferred the money back. Big red flag. But all I keep hearing these days is, women empowerment and this and it has to be 50-50 and this, that, and the other. Another thing, you make $50,000 a year, let's say, as the woman. The man makes $150,000. Okay? You live together. He's convinced you to move in with him. And he's telling you that everything is going to be 50-50. You've moved in with him. So with $150,000 annual income, he's chosen to live in a place where his mortgage is $4,000. Okay? $4,000. His utilities and everything is another $1,000. So that's $5,000. Then his food, your feeding and everything. So let's just say the expenses in the house all comes to $7,000 a month. Your cars, your everything, $7,000 every month. You've moved in with him. Now he's telling you everything has to be 50-50. From a $50,000 job, assuming that is even your net income, you are making $5,000 a month, and there's nobody who makes a $50,000 gross income who ends up with $5,000 a month. But let's just even say that that's what it is. Assuming you're making $3,000-$4,000, that's your take-home pay every month. And he's telling you 50-50. So that means your $3,000 and the $7,000 monthly, like your expenses in the house, your $3,000 is not even enough. So you're now taking $500 every month from your credit card and struggling somehow. By the time you feel like you're paying it and you're getting somewhere, then now you have to start all over again. He's making $150,000. So $3,500 is like he's just kind of like walked, and that's it. And there are so many of my sisters who have subjected themselves to this and accepted 50-50 and are struggling in their relationship. They are literally suffocating to death, but they're quiet because they agreed to 50-50 from the first point. And because of, the advent of women empowerment and all of that, so you just have to make do with just about anything. Honey, my love, thank you, Sister Catherine. Men need to be more fair to the women. It's wrong for him to take advantage of the situation like that. What is a man's role in your relationship, in your marriage, in your engagement, in your whatever it is that you guys are doing, your partners, you've moved in, your common law? That's what we call it here, common law. In England, they say partners. What is the whole point of being together? For the man to be responsible to provide for his home and to protect you at all times. That's my personal opinion. When my dad married my mom, I never once heard my dad tell my mom to go pay the house rent. I never once heard my dad say, hey, the mortgage needs to be paid. No matter how little or how much he made, he understood that it was his responsibility to make sure that we had a roof over our heads as his wife and his 4 daughters. So my dad always made sure rent was paid. Utility bills were paid. And there was food in the house. Yeah, my mom then decided, okay, if she goes out and there's no tomatoes, there's no cooking oil, there's this, there's that, then she'll buy those things. But my dad never expected that my mom has to. So if the house rent is $2,000, you have to divvy it up. The woman has to bring her own $1,000. The man has to bring, then you join it and then you pay it. My big brother, there's so many marriages, especially in the West, in the diaspora today, I'm telling you, where that is the case. Husband and wife are living together, and when the mortgage, okay, we have to open a joint account. Okay, the bills all come to 5,000. So you put your 2,500 in. And let me also put my own 2,500 in. Yeah. If you don't put yours, I also not put mine. So the bills come, and because one party hasn't put their own half in there, things bounce and they end up paying interest on it. So many people are going through this in their marriages and they're quiet about it. Some of them, I can even promise you, are watching us right now. They can't just say it. There's so many people in the West who are going and living that kind of life. I understand. Maybe your husband doesn't make that much. Maybe you're the one who makes a lot more than he does. And so you're trying to help him out. But for him to now demand it and expect that you have to do X, and yet be flaunting around, I'm the man of the house, you have to submit to me, you have to submit to me, you have to submit. Guinea, what? And joint account, don't even talk to me about joint account, because I think I'm the worst person for anybody to talk to about joint accounts. I've said the story a lot of times. Maybe I'll share it again. Growing up, one of my closest friends had a friend who started dating when she got into university. She was in the first year. The guy was almost in his final year. The degrees are 4 years long. So by the time she was in her second year, the guy was in the final year, ready to leave and already going to get a job. This girl was an only child. So they dated for the whole 2 years. He left. They continued. She finished. She did her national service. Because she was an A-star student, a first-class student, she got a scholarship immediately to do a master's straight away. So she stayed an extra 2 years, making it 6 years. And they dated the whole 6 years of that relationship. The guy, by this point, was working in a bank, rented his own apartment, had a car, like he was ready. And he was dating this girl for 6 years. 4 years in, he says they have to start saving for their marriage. So, she was in school full time, but she does her own little bits and bobs and whatever little money she gets from her mom and, things that people give her and all of this. And the little businesses that she was doing to survive, she was also saving for their marriage. The guy managed to convince her that they should open a joint account, and she agreed, and they started saving. Every month without fail, my friend's friend was putting money in this account religiously, denying herself things. When we're all going out, she doesn't want to, I can't spend any money. I'm planning for my marriage. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. One weekend, the guy, as normal, the parents had come to know this guy. They knew they were a couple. So, whenever he comes to the house on a Friday to pick her up, the mom's like, oh, okay, all right, then I'll see you on Sunday, blah, blah. And he took her away. They went, she cooked, they cleaned and everything. They watched movie. Of course, there was humping and everything. And then Saturday morning, he gets up and he says to her, oh, you sleep. I just have to go open our branch. I have to give some money to one of our clients to open his shop and all of that. So, okay. So they did. But she said when she woke up, she was having all these horrific dreams that a lion and a snake and some funny thing that she was dreaming. Anyway, she got out of bed. And when she went outside to the balcony, because there were apartments and they were on the top floor, the neighbor on this side was an older woman. And she said, oh, I've never seen you here before. Are you here to see your brother? And she said, my brother? Which brother? This is my boyfriend. We've been together. I'm surprised you've never seen me here before. Maybe I just don't come out to the balcony that much. And the woman's expression changed, not knowing that this man had a whole different life with a whole different woman in his life that she wasn't aware of. And actually that weekend, that Saturday that he gave that cock and bull story that he was going to give money to them, he was actually going to get married. So the woman said, oh, but he brought a wedding invitation a few weeks back, and the lady on that picture does not look nothing like you. I'm actually just getting ready to go to the wedding. And my friend thought it was a joke. So the woman said, "Are you telling me, a fully grown woman like that, I'm a liar? This is the invitation. Get ready and let's go." So the girl got dressed. She just thought it was a bit of a laugh. How can he be getting? He just woke up from me this morning. What is he saying? Okay. They got ready and they went to the church. Lo and behold, this man who is opening a bank account to get money for his customer was happily dressed up in a suit, doing for better for worse with somebody else. Okay. My friend was distraught. She started shouting and screaming. They bundled her in the cars to not disrupt the service and sent her home. She locks herself up in her room, stops talking to everybody. 24 hours had come. All she was doing was crying, not eating, nothing. The mom didn't know what to do with herself, so she went and got their neighbors and they broke the door down, brought her out, and now she's telling her story that this is what had happened. The mom said, "It's okay, I know it hurts. You've been with him for 6 years, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. It's better you know now than to be married to him and find he's this demon, blah, I know," and all that. Then she says to the mom, "But we have a joint account. I have been saving everything that you've been giving me, all my friends, the people who've been supporting me. All that money is in that account." Okay. Monday morning, which bank is it? She says Barclays. Okay. Monday morning, first thing, "You're coming with me. We'll go. You take what? Do you know how much money you have in there?" She says, "Yes." She's written everything down. Fine. You go in, you get your money, you close the account, and that's that. I don't know what it is that exactly that those two had done. Whether she had said that because they trust each other, any one of them could sign. I don't really understand what it is that they did. But long story short, the man cleared the account. That whole wedding that he did, my friend's friend had paid for the wedding and some. And he had taken his bride to Hawaii for their honeymoon. So on Monday morning, when my 26-year-old friend turns up to the bank and gets told that there's no money in the account, she has a fatal heart attack. And she is no longer with us anymore. And that was her mom's only child that she spent her whole life savings and pension trying to educate. The woman is not all there anymore either. Okay. So 2 weeks later, when it was the funeral, and this man has the nerve to turn up to the funeral with his wife because he's heard that the girl had passed away. And he was lynched with everything that you can think about. People were so upset that even human excreta was thrown at them for what they did or what he did. And he left. But you know, I always tell you that the evil that men do lives after them. What happened to him a few years later was that woman that he married, she was also in university too. And she thought that his bedroom antiques were not up to her standards. So when he was busily slaving away in the bank, making money and trying to pay the bills, she would bring all her university friends that were her age. She was a bit older than her as well, to the house, and they would have lovely orgies and do all kinds of fanciful things on her matrimonial bed. And that was his payback for what he did to my friend. Today, he's lost his mind. He's drinking. I don't even think he has clothes on anymore. That was the last I heard of him. If he's still alive, then I guess that's his luck. But he's also a mental case now. The point I'm making here is that the evil that men do lives after them. That's the first thing. But secondly, nobody talked to me about no joint account because that's just not in my dictionary. I don't believe in it. I have never believed in it. I will never advise anybody to go down that line. That is me. That is me personally. Do what works for you. Maybe you can trust your husband and your wife so completely and there's nothing. It's a cultural thing as well to me personally, because I've seen my brothers and sisters who are Caucasian and they do these things and it's so beautiful. There's so much transparency. I see it in my daily living. in what I do professionally. And it's so beautiful. You see people who have been married for 60 years and they're able to be trustworthy and have so much truth with each other and honesty with each other. If one person gets $10, they will tell, oh, you never guess what? I got $10 from this. It's so beautiful. But in my own culture, I'm sorry. No, I am not making that. I'm not doing that. My parents didn't have no joint account. They've been married for 45 years and counting, 46 years, just gone. And there's been no issues. When there's something that comes up, my dad will bring whatever he has. If my mom wants to support him, she'll bring whatever she has and they go do the said thing. I don't see why you have to have a joint account in order to have a marriage. To me, it just causes all kinds of confusion. So now I'm married. I have a joint account with my husband. Every money that I make goes into that account. So let's say my mom gets sick. And the sickness, yeah, she can't afford all of the money. So I have to help my mom. And I'll give anything to my parents because the reason why I'm sat here today is because they actually squeezed every ounce of their blood to make me who I am today. So if they need anything and I'm in a position to do it, there's no question. I will do it. I'd much rather starve than see my parents struggling for something that they need. But I can have this conversation because they gave their all for me. So it's only natural, it's only fair that I do the same back. Now, having said that, if I have a joint account with my husband, am I now going to tell him why I have to take $2,000 out of the account because, my mom has to have surgery and the money that the family has is not enough, and I now have to write a whole long essay to justify why my husband has to allow me to take my own money that I've worked hard for to save my mom's life. You know what? No. I'll be the wife. I'll support him. Whatever he needs, if I have it, I will give it. But it's my money. So let me be the custodian of my money. And that is my prerogative. That is my choice. If you've listened to a word of what I've said about that, I'm not prescribing anything for anybody. You do what works for you. But me, after losing my friend, don't talk to me about joint accounts. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. That's just me. You do what works for you. Okay? That's my opinion. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say about this whole 50-50 thing is that any man, in my opinion, who is ready to be married must have the resources, the money, everything to be able to be the man of the house, the provider of the house, and the protector of the spouse. When you say these things, some people will get up in arms and say all kinds of things to you. But if you want the respect, the credibility, the regard, the submission, the this, the that, somebody to cook and clean and respect you and do all of these things for you, but you don't want any man, any woman to have her peace, where you are providing for her as a husband, making sure that she has a roof over her head. You took her from her mother and father's house. They did not beg you. You took the dowry and said you want this woman to be your wife. But when it comes down to it, some husbands are so much interested in how much their wife makes. What is the paycheck? They want you to tell them how much you make, whether it's bi-weekly or monthly or weekly or daily. If a woman is going shopping and she's brought the list, she's told you that she needs 50,000 cedis, Ghana cedis. and you've given her 60,000 cedis, let's say. You want her to come back and tell you, I bought pepper, 10 Ghana. I bought sugar, 20 Ghana. I bought cooking oil. Let's see. I think it's 80 Ghana. Oh, isn't it? Yeah, I think I've 80 Ghana and all of that. I never saw my parents do that. Ever. Ever. The only thing I saw is that all those provisions, you know, these things that you can just pick up in a shop. Tinned milk, sardine, corned beef, rice, sugar, bread, fish. I never saw my mom buy any of those things ever in my life. I'm 43 almost. I never saw my mom do any of that. Even when this man is traveling, he will buy enough milk for 2 months if that's how long he's going to be away. And if it's going to be such a long time that he can't do it for that whole time, every month he will send what is required to make sure that those basic things are provided. And I can just picture our house back then. There was this wardrobe, almost cupboard, like you call it a pantry here in North America. And it had everything, all those dry things. So all my mom had to do was go pick up tomatoes, onions, pepper, those, perishable things. But everything else that is in a bag, fish cleaned and everything in a bag, you just pick it up, pay for it. My dad always made sure that we didn't go without beans, rice, eggs, cooking oil, sugar, milk, those things we never went without. And that is a man who is making sure that those basic things were provided for. When it came to our school fees and every other thing, then he would sit down with his wife. My mom knew what my dad made. She knew she was able to support him. And that was a conversation that they had between the two of them. And it was just so beautiful and so flawless. I never saw my parents fighting over money. Like, my dad wants to know how much my mom makes. My dad is always in her business, wanting to know what she spends. I never, ever saw that growing up. But in today's marriages, when I hear some of the things that my sisters are complaining and crying about, it's sad. It's very sad. It's very, very sad indeed. So any man who is starting the relationship with you and wants to do 50-50 and right from the first date is telling you, when I bring my 100, you to bring your 100 and let's make it 200 and let's pay it. Yeah, think about it. Think very critically about it. Sometimes some of my brothers are like that because they've been in previous relationships where they feel like the women that they were with took advantage of them or didn't treat them fairly. So now you become the sacrificial lamb to be slain. Some men want to move into your house with you, the woman. The Bible says, for this reason, a man shall leave his mother and father. Yeah, he is leaving. And the wife goes to go cleave with him. But today it's become so normalized that some men think that it's okay. It doesn't matter. If she has bought her own house and I move in with her, what is so wrong with it? You're already losing your kinship or whatever it is that you want by doing that. Some men think that it's a cheap side, Yeah, she's a nurse and she's worked hard and she's bought her house. Why not? I can just go in. And then you enter this person's house and you want to change everything about the house that is not even yours to begin with. Instead of being plain cut from the very beginning. Hey, honey, this is what I make. And I'm cutting my coat according to my size. This is what I can afford. And this is what we're going to do because I am the man of the house, and it is my responsibility to make sure that you are provided for. And this is what I can afford to provide. You want women to come and live with you, or you want to even move into the woman's house. I know men in Europe today, England especially, I used to see those things and it used to drive me up the wall. You know how a lot of single mothers are struggling, so systems are set in place to help people like that to be able to take care of their children. Men actually go out of their way to target women like that have been given, the children have been given a place to live, because to them it means that, oh, this woman doesn't even parent. She has a 3-bedroom with 2 children. If I live with her, I won't have to parent. I actually saw a man have the nerve to come on social media and advise other men that when you first arrive in England or Europe, wherever, and you're looking for somebody to date, to do the with, make sure that that person is somebody who lives in project housing or council housing, as it's called in England. Look for that kind of woman because you will save a lot of money. You know, a woman who lives in project housing doesn't pay any rent, or even if she does, the rent is minimal. So if her rent is £200 a month or a week or whatever, you know, all you have to give her is just half of that. She'll be happy. Those people, they have money. You can eat for free, you know. Eat food for free and eat the other one too for free, if you know what I mean. And men are excited to be saying these things. And it is so interesting that it is those very same men who are also demanding submission, respect, regard. This, the woman is not humble. She's not submitting to me. She's not this. No, when you've taken off your responsibility as a man and the woman is wearing the trousers, how can you then want somebody like that to give you any regard? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. You don't want to do what is going to let us see that, oh yeah, this is the man of the house. But you want respect. Okay, we've heard you. Number 4. Any man who starts dating you and says to you, all men cheat, run. All men cheat, run. Not some men, all men cheat. It means that he himself is also going to be starting to cheat on you at some point because he's a man. Unless he's trying to say he's non-binary or he's a woman, then if he's also a man, it means he's also paving the way so that he can also cheat, because he's telling you that all men cheat. All men cheat. That's a statement that he's made. All men cheat. So just accept it. Whatever you do, all men cheat. But I can tell you that I know some men who are now in their 70s. They got married in their late 20s or early 30s. And I'll stick my neck out for them and tell you that for the 40-something years of my life, knowing them, they have only been with their wife. If they slept with other people before the marriage, that one I don't know. But I can tell you on good authority that once they did for better, for worse, I do. The only punani they have seen, now their wife. Finish. No other punani. That one, just that one. They've kept to that one, and they are very much alive. Everything is functioning properly. The swinging pendulum is very functional. There's nothing wrong with the motor, nothing. Everything is on point. But it's just been that one punani. No other one. One. So when you're dating somebody who is telling you, all men cheat, all men cheat, and drumming it, and they're actually sisters of mine who believe that. That is true. I've seen sisters say any man who only sleeps with his wife alone is stupid. It means there's something wrong with his brain. It means that maybe his thing is not functioning properly. It is very funny. It is very funny. Why do people get... Catherine, I wish I could tell you, honey. I wish I could tell you why. And it is sad that my own sisters are the ones who are believing these lies from the pit of hell and going around telling you that every man cheats. But I'm telling you that the men that I have and know in my life, my uncles, my dad, and others, one man, one wife, one man, one woman. They've been like that for 40-something plus years, and they're still there. They haven't left. They haven't slept with anybody else. They are still there, being the one man and one wife. Yeah, they fight. Who doesn't fight? They all argue. Yeah. But it's one man, one swinging pendulum, one punani, no other one, just that one, and they're happy with that. So this whole assertion that all men cheat, all men are cheats, they will all sleep, and those loose talk things, don't believe that. That person is just paving the way. Once they drum it into your head enough, later on, when you start to see that his attitude has changed, he's not coming home, you won't even argue it. This man, at least, I've seen women say, after all, when he does it, he still comes home to me. He sleeps with her, but he comes home to me anyway. So, it's okay. Really? He cheats. All men cheat. So he's paving the way for you. You know something, my brother? One thing that I will stick my neck out for is that, and I remember that it's a joke that my parents had growing up. My mom always used to tell people that one of the things that she can be sure of is that one day, if my dad is the one that gets called to glory first before she does, one thing that she knows will be a funny joke that's not funny is some other woman turning up to his funeral and saying, your husband fathered a child with me, like these are your husband's children. Like, it's just so laughable. She knows that would be some fake person coming out there to say things like that. What will really make a woman say something like that about their spouse that they've spent over 50 years of their life with, knowing and then marrying? There must be something that a person has done that will make somebody stick their neck out to say that it will be laughable for the person to not be there one day and to find that there will be other children out of their marriage that came out of it. I understand that there's nothing new under the sun. Don't think that I come from a home where there's no polygamy. My grandparents had all kinds of children all over the place. But for somebody in that culture to stick their neck out and make such a profound statement means that she knows for a fact that he can be accused of other things. He's a thief, he said this, he said that. But as for having other children out of this marriage, nah, it can't happen. Right? It takes some kind of courage for somebody to be able to say that about their spouse. And the question is, how many women can stick out of their necks out and say this about the men that they are living with? Some men have slept around with everything in skirts that, I mean, it's so disrespectful and so degrading. You don't even have any words. And there's no limit to who they would do it with. Even down to house helps that their wives have brought to come and help at home. Their husbands have slept with them. house helps, women in the church, people the wives go to work with. It's just ridiculous. But to say that all men cheat from a man is a very profound statement. And I'm here to debunk the fact that I don't believe that is true. There are men who have stuck to their wives. The only place they've been from their date of marriage has only been that one place. And they will stay in that one place till they're no more here. Not because they don't have the ability to do it. But think about it. All the men in my own family who were sleeping around with everything, their death was not a very pleasant one. By the time they were leaving, there was so much noise and confusion, and I can't put it to words. If you want peace of mind, zip it and keep it there. You chose one that you want to be with. Let that one be enough for you. Be contented with that one that you have and stick with that one. It is only when you don't learn contentment, and this goes both ways, it's both men and women, that you create all these unnecessary issues. Men can control themselves. Thank you so much. And I'm not saying our Caucasian brothers are all saints. They don't dip it out there every now and again. But you see, in the Western culture, especially in North America, actions have consequences. If you cheat on your wife with another woman and she finds out about it, she takes you to the cleaners. Everything that you have is split in half. And she gets half of that. If she really wants to show you where the power lies, she'll never marry again. She can be with a man for years, but they will never get married. She'll never move in with the man, and you'll be paying alimony, hoping that she either drops and not here anymore, or either that or she marries, which she will never do. She really wants to teach you a lesson. She never gets married, and you continue to pay. The house will be sold and split between the two of you. One sticking that you stuck will cost you the rest of your life. Imagine that you amassed all this thing. Now you're earning $250,000 a year. You've bought a house here. You have 2 houses in your home country. Maybe you've even got another house that is a rental. Everything that you own, as long as she knows about it, will be split down the middle. Yeah, and she gets to keep half. If they're children, you will leave the house. If they're children and you go stick it out and she finds out about it, you leave the house. You have to go find somewhere to live, and your wife and children get to stay in the house. And even if it comes down to it and the house must be sold, you need to make sure that your wife and children have different accommodation to be in. Regardless of whether she works or not, you're paying. I have seen men's life quickly go from grace to grass very quickly because of some cheating that they cheated. So I am saying that it makes better sense. If you have this, it makes better sense to keep to one punani. It's good enough for you. Otherwise, everything that you worked hard for will be split down the middle. Yeah. Yes. And what you pay in child support is based on income. So if you make $1 million, you can do the maths. But I know that at least in North America, especially where I'm at here, it can be as much as $400 per kid per month. And you don't get the opportunity to choose whether you pay it or not. Your wages are garnished at source. And if you think you're smart and you go get second and third job and don't tell the system that this is what is going on, all your wife has to do is to go to the authorities and tell them you would lose your job because the society frowns so much on that kind of behavior. You pay or you go to jail. Thank you so much, Catherine. I didn't want to say it, but she said it for me. So men, think about it. Think about it. Think. Like, use your head. Think about it. Does it make any sense that because of some woman that you've seen with Bobby standing up, yeah, front lights, because of that, you're prepared to sacrifice your hard-earned currency for years because of some silly fun that you want to have? Okay, go ahead and have the fun. But in North America, you must pay. You must pay, and you will pay. So my love, it doesn't make any sense. From where I'm sitting, any man who's doing that, that's a big risk that you're taking. Is it even worth it? Is it? 5 minutes of, because of that, you lose everything. And everybody knows about it too. It's everywhere. Everybody finds out about what you did. So, sometimes the men are out there and the society favors the women and the society favors, it is because of some of these things that some of you men have done. It's why the system needs to make sure that the children and the wife, the vulnerable people, are provided for. So yeah, even in Africa now, things are changing. People are not putting up with that anymore. Okay? So 5 minutes of pleasure and being breathless, it's not worth all of that you lose at the end of the day for 40 years of a marriage that you put so much into. Think about it. I'm not doing it again. Any man, in conclusion, who does not want to talk about or discuss issues, stay away from them. When there's an issue, they don't want to communicate it. They remain silent. They give you the cold shoulder. When you try to create the atmosphere or the platform for both of you to sit and talk about the things that are disturbing you so that they can be dealt with, the person does not want to engage with you. It's one of the worst possible things to be living with. And a lot of my brothers are like that. A lot of my brothers are like that. So your woman is expressing herself. She's telling you what is going on in her life, how your behavior and your attitude is making her feel. But you're disregarding it because what is it? What is it that is going on? You know what? I'm doing everything. What all this talking? What is the talking for? It means that your feelings don't matter to him. Your thoughts don't matter to him. The way you feel about issues, it doesn't matter. Can you imagine wanting to talk to a brick wall? So when he does something or he says something to upset you, or his behavior is frustrating. There's so many men. She talks too much. She's always complaining. Nothing I do is it's good enough. She's always complaining. She's always complaining. Yeah. Because you're not listening. You're not, some men, it's not just that they won't allow you to verbalize what you're saying, but they're not even listening to what you're saying. It's so painful when you're with somebody like that. How are issues addressed? Because you're pure humans. Like, you're not brought up the same way. You don't think the same way. So how are you going to address issues when you're living with a man who doesn't even value what you have to say? Who doesn't value your feelings, your thoughts, your opinions? They use the excuse to blame women for talking, but they refuse to resolve issues. Thank you so much, Catherine. And there's so many people like that. A lot of my brothers that look like me, that is how we behave. And that's why there are issues in your marriage. And they can't get resolved because you refuse to engage with your wife about the issue. Let her express herself. Listen to what she's saying to you, so that you can both sit down and figure out how you can compromise on these issues and resolve them once and for all. But no. So the person is trying to express how they're feeling, how your attitudes or your inactions are making her feel, but you won't listen to anything she has to say. You come back from work, there are 3 children, you're expecting your dinner. Do you know that in North America, I have some friends who are married and their husbands want to be treated like they live back as princes and kings back home. Like they come back from work. Their wives have also gone for a 9-12 hour day job and come back, but they have to make sure that there's food at home. So they've put aside their tiredness and everything to get in the kitchen and make sure, because I'm talking about men today, darling. The women are coming next week. It's not a one-sided conversation. Next week is the 10 of my sisters. Stay tuned and make sure you watch that. Clifford. Okay? So she's in the kitchen. She's cooking. And then you come back. You take your shoes off and put your briefcase somewhere. And you're the first thing that they do instinctively, take their shoes off, go sit in the living room, put their feet on a coffee table, and be waiting for dinner. Yeah. Waiting for dinner to come. Yeah. So the dinner is ready, and then they call you or they serve you in a whole thing. You come and sit down and eat it. Once you're done eating, you get up. Sometimes they even wash their hands into the plate in the dining table and get up and leave. I'm sorry, husband. Those women that you call your wife, the love of your life, your whatever, can I ask you something? Do you think that their blood is made of turpentine and gasoline mixed up with melted steel? Or like, I don't understand. The same way that you're feeling, that's how this woman is feeling too. You're not offering to help the children with their homework. You're not offering to help bathe the children. You're not offering to wash up the dishes after you've had the dinner. Like nothing. No help, no assistance, nothing. Then after she's done everything, the kids are in bed, the homework is done, the kitchen is clean, everything is done. When she wants to go take a shower and just go and sleep, because she knows in 5-6 short hours later, she has to repeat everything again. You now have the effrontery to come and tell her, you are my wife. I paid your bride price. So when I want you in my bed, you must agree. Really? Really? To me, that's selfishness. So all those vows and all those things that you said, I love her, forsaking all others, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, that's all just bollocks. That's just bollocks. You just said it. Like, you didn't mean a word of what you said. If you really, truly have regard and respect for women and the wife that you have at home, you would be there. You would respect her enough and feel her pain too. That, oh my God, let me help this woman out. A lot of my brothers are married to women. They just want to sleep in the same bed with. And so that the woman will be their bed warmers. Maybe you should buy electric blankets. Because women are so much more than all of this. If you want to have a happy marriage, you have to be prepared to put work and effort into having what you have. Empathy is the name of the game. My brother, God bless you so much. Do you even think about this woman? You know, one of the things that I'm going to ask God, I've said this a million times on my platform, that I'm really going to ask God why he did what he did. I don't understand his creation. He has to explain to me. Is this: you know how women have monthly menstrual cycles? I think men also ought to have the same, honestly. If every month men also go for 3 days, where your you know, the balls down there be hurting like they've set fire to that whole place, and it will be pulling as if, you know, like somebody is pulling on it and squeezing the living daylight out of it, those nuts of yours, for 3 whole days. It will be something else. But I'm going to ask God one day why he spared men that thing. Because women will be going through their menstrual flow. I know women who actually have to be hospitalized because of that. And these men still turn a blind eye. They still go to work. They take ibuprofen and they'll be and still be cooking. And you still be sitting there watching TV and pretending as if you haven't heard or seen what is happening. And you get to walk, fade into the sunset. I will ask him one day, God, you know, I don't understand. If men could go through that just for 3 days, 72 hours of that pain, and also have something, maybe something yellowish coming out of that thing of yours for 3 days, then we see what you will do. Because you'll be married to a man now, when they get common cold, flu, come and see. It's like the third World War. I think I have a man flu. My nose is so blocked. I can barely breathe. It's like they're dying. But women will be having menstrual flow. They will have baby behind them, cooking. She's laying the bed. The washing machine is running. The kid is crying. She's trying to cook. Her menstrual flow and this and that. Her hands are in 10 different things at the same time. Husband gets one small common cold. Come and see. My head hurts. Something is happening. Common cold. But your wife is having cesarean session. She just got cut down below 1 week ago, but you want her to make egusi and pounded yam for you. But you can't help your own children have a wash. Put them to bed. Feed them. God have mercy. There is some man that had a wife who was unwell and had to be hospitalized. A father, he didn't even know what kids take when they're running a temperature. Whilst the wife is in hospital, in critical condition, he's now phoning around the wife's friends to find out what it is that women give to children when they are running temperature. Sometimes some of my brothers do things that it hurts my heart so much I feel like crying. And yet there are other men, like I have seen it, I've experienced it myself, so I know that it is possible. Do you know that in my own home right now, the man who gave birth to me is happily looking after his grandchildren by himself. He cooks for them. He walks them to school. He brings them back. And he actually does it joyfully. a 70-something-year-old man, joyfully, because he loves his children so much. And he wants to be there for his grandchildren. How many of my brothers can take their grandchildren for 24 hours and allow their wives and their daughters to go and have a blessed time somewhere? Tell me, if you can do it, raise your hand. I want to see you. How many of us do that or can do that? Your wife can't travel anywhere and leave the children. Your wife can't have no peace. I'm the man of the house. I am the man of the house. I am the man of the house. But the children's mom and dad can leave and know that their child is safe with their granddad. He'll take care of them. He'll do everything with or without his wife. So what kind of a man are you? What kind of a home provider are you? Or is it just because everybody is married? So, I need a helper. If you're looking for a cook, say so now. If you're looking for somebody to make your home, don't deceive anybody into thinking that what you're looking for is a wife. Because a woman is so much more than the meals and mama and papa in bed. And that's God's honest truth. So please, I beg you, my distinguished gentlemen, fathers in the house, my big brothers, my small brothers, I beg of you, instead of whinging, moaning, complaining, disrespecting, insulting, ignoring your wife, when your wife is telling you, this thing that you're doing, I don't like it, stop doing it, and you ignore her. Oh, these women, they just like to talk too much. You're saying to her that her feelings don't matter. I have seen so many men that have hurt their wives consistently for years. The women, for whatever reason, decide that divorce is not an option for them, so they stay. But guess what they do? They remove their emotions completely from the equation. So all my sisters are doing, I'm managing you. So they stop complaining. They stop whinging. They just resigned. This is my fate, so But guess what? My brothers unfortunately think that my wife has changed though. My wife, she's such an amazing woman. I love her so much. My wife does not complain anymore. Even if I go and sleep out for 3 days, she doesn't say anything. I love her so much. Some people will even tell you, my wife knows I'm cheating, but she doesn't mind. She knows, at the end of the day, when I cheat, I still come back to her. So she doesn't mind. Really? Okay. Yeah, she doesn't mind. Because she's removed herself emotionally from you. So guess what? She'll sit, she'll cook, she'll everything, and she'll find joy in other places, like her children, in church, other activities to take her mind off the pain that you're putting her through. But guess what? The children don't remain 2 years forever. They grow up. So guess what? She keeps quiet. She endures it. Oh, a lot of them stop sleeping with their men. That's why they don't care anymore, my darling. And then you're happy, sleeping around, doing your thing, everything. She doesn't complain. When you come back, she doesn't call you anymore to ask you when you're coming home. She doesn't care whether you're alive or semi-alive or not there. She doesn't ask you when you're coming home. She just does not do anything anymore. She just doesn't say anything. When you come, you come. If you say something funny, she may even laugh. And when you give, oh, okay, it's no problem. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. See you later. And all of that. And you're happy because she doesn't make noise anymore. What my brothers don't realize is that what makes a woman shout and scream and behave like that is because she's emotionally invested in the relationship and she wants you to change so that you can be happy together, so that you can nurture a relationship together. And when she stops caring, it means that emotionally it's ended a long time ago. She has signed out. Thank you very much. But that is what my brothers like. They're very happy. They're so excited that she's done that. But guess what happens? I saw so much of it growing up. It's why I'm telling you this. I grew up on the university campuses and I saw a lot of marriages. I saw some very amazing ones and I saw some very horrific ones too. So these men went out and did all kinds of things. Some had children out of wedlock, all kinds of things. The women stayed. And they had their own reasons. Some of them, they knew the men were their livelihood, so they spent the time checked out building their own lives. I saw some women go back to school, start a business, have their own professions on the quiet. The men were so happy with that other ponani or ponanis that they were enjoying that they didn't have time to see what was happening. They didn't have the time to look back to see what was going on. And they were slowly, like the ants, they were gathering. So they gathered and gathered and gathered and gathered. Now the kids are all grown up. The last one is in university. All the older ones have left home and everything. And now when the man goes out, the woman also dresses up and hangs out with her friends. They plan a vacation. They go to Turkey for a week. They come back. Now the oldest children are also married. They have families of their own. So now your wife will leave you and go spend time with Joanna and the husband and children, or go away and now you are sick and bedridden. And you are expecting that this woman that I've been with for 30 years will now come and sit with me and be nursing that nonsense things of yours that you were using to go and put things into other people. You want her to come and sit and nurse that one, innit? Okay. She's happily looking after her grandchildren. And now these men are screaming, my wife. What is marriage all about if my wife cannot be with me? In the vows that we took, we said for better, for worse. Why is my wife not? No. A person shall reap what they sow. That's what the Bible says, right? Yeah. So if you waste time in your youthful days sowing discord, and I find a lot of my brothers check out when the children come along. So you go marry somebody's daughter and you say she must give you children because your mother says, you must give me grandchildren. I must carry my own children at my back. I want my own grandchildren. So you go and marry somebody's daughter and make her a baby making machine and she's giving you 3 children. So now, because she's had the children now, if you look at her, she's become so big. And when I ask her to do monkey style now, she cannot do it. When I ask her to do cockroach style now, she cannot do it. And I'm tired. You can't eat pounded yam every day. You have to have a goosey sometimes. You have to eat beans and red plantain sometimes. You have to eat jollof rice. Okay, go and eat it. But what you're forgetting is that when the woman met you, you had a full head of hair too. And she loved you with your full head of hair. I actually like men that have hair. When you go bald, it's like, what is this? But you know what? It happens. But she put up with you and your bald head and your motorway. You see, when it's like somebody went there with a bulldozer and just bulldozed everything here, and you only have side bends. She still put up with that one. But you cannot put up with the stomach that has become bigger, which you created. Now you cause them. I can't live with that one. Okay. Next complaint. She's too big and she can't do monkey style anymore. Before I could roll her over, she could do everything. But she is putting up with that 18-month pregnancy of yours that you've had for the last 10 years. The child is not still coming. You are never going into labor and having this child. But she's still putting up with it, not complaining. Now, this thing that she married that was like this long, it's now like this. This is even too long. It's like actually like this one. You see? So when you get on top now, all you are doing is just, it's like you are brushing it. You know when a paint brush is brushing, like you have paper and you put the brush in the paint and you're trying to brush. It's like that. But she's putting up with it. Just like that. She's not complaining. She's not saying anything. She's just putting up with it. Just like that. Not complaining. That one, you're not saying anything about that one. You're very happy and everything. And you want her to tolerate that nonsense thing that you've been doing. Some of my brothers, when they are even doing the thing, you don't even feel that anything got there. And then they are sweating and it's like they are swimming. They are doing backward strokes. And then before you even, did I feel anything? He is done. He is spent. And all those things, the nuts are all sleepy and he's snoring. And he did not feel anything. But she doesn't complain. She still believes that she married you for better, for worse. So, let me just take the one that he did 30 years ago like that. Back then it was really good. She would just think about those times when you were doing it well and just enjoy that one like that. But you cannot enjoy that, the big tummy that she also has like that. The sagging boobs that you have made, the thing when it started, it was like this. It was pointing eastwards. Now it's pointing south. Southwest, and it's all your fault. You are not making do with that one. Oh, it's too much. Now I need fresh blood. I need somebody to... sometimes, as a man, you have to get rid of all this old blood now and enjoy the fresh one. The young girls, they know how to do it. So after you've done all this to her and given her 30-second paint brushing that she has been taking all this time, you are still expecting this same person to now come and sit with you. After some other woman has taken all the honey from the comb, what do you want your wife to do? Use red ink to paint the comb. What are you expecting her to do at that point? When you've now gotten prostate cancer and prostate this and large prostate, this, that, and now it's not working anymore. It can't even jumpstart it. Even when you put apply the pliers to it and it's not even cranking. Now you remember you have a wife. Go to those same girls. Those same ones that you were busy having fun with. Go to those ones. And let them come and be there for you. They get even Viagra doesn't help them, my sister. At that time, it's a lost cause. Lost cause. As a man soweth, so shall he reap. When you are there through the night feeds, taking them to hospital, being there, you hear me say so much about my father because he was an example. The night feeds, he was there. He did the diaper changes. My father fed me so much, I bit his finger. And even at this age, he still has the mark to show for it. Yeah. He did the hospital runs, staying with me overnight in the hospital. So that my mom would do the day, he would come at night, then they would swap over. Yeah, it's why I talk about him so much. Because he sowed, he is now reaping my attention. So if you're a husband, and when your wife has one baby and he has to go have another, your mom and your wife's mom all have to come. Because you can't do anything. You don't touch anything. The only thing you know how to do is backstrokes in bed. You know how to bake pastries in the oven. But when it's cooked and you have to clean the pots and pans where the pastry was being baked, you don't want to do that one. Then don't complain when later on in life, your wife walks, bye-bye, shoo-shoo, bye, from you and goes to spend time with your daughter, her husband, and the children, because what you sow, you reap. If you want your wife to stick with you through thick and thin, to be there for you in those last days when it hurts, and to tell you, honey, it's going to be fine, I'm so sorry, and all of that, you better sow right. The only men and women that I've seen who have been with their wives. Look, in my job, I see people who in their 90s, the man is 93, the wife is 85 or 88 or whatever, and it's just so beautiful. Why is the woman staying? Because the man went out of his way for the 60 whatever years they were married. He made her feel like she was the best thing that ever happened to him. And he'll tell you. So those young girls that you go wasting your backstrokes on, you better let them understand that when their engine is now faulty, when the cranking is not cranking, they have to come and sit and crank. They have to look after that withered potato or banana of yours that nobody else wants for free, and sit around you at that time. Because don't forget that the things that you do, they leave lasting impression. And people will say, but the Bible says you have to forgive. Yeah, I can forgive you from a distance now. I'll forgive you from a distance. I forgive you. I take all the hurt from my heart, but I don't have to be in your space. We don't want no withered banana, do we, Catherine, sorry. We don't want no withered banana. You know, like when you go buy sweet potato and it's been there so long, it becomes all soft and mushy. See how it becomes? It's all disfigured and it's all drawn down to one side. That's how a lot of my brothers, that's how it becomes, because of all that overexcitement and the excess work that you put it to. You overwork the machine. Now it needs overhauling. Go and get those girls to come and do overhauling. Leave your wife alone. And I saw so many of my fathers and uncles and people on that university campuses do those kinds of things. And when it came down to it, their wives are busy in America looking after grandchildren. They are sick. And they're expecting their wives to fly back and be in a hurry to come. No. It's too much work. Go and get your side chick to come and be there. And then you're crying foul. The only men who have their women drop everything and rush back and be at your beck and call and be there to support you through thick and thin are the ones who do the same for their wives, children or no children, regardless. Exactly, Catherine. By that time, it's just too late because she already removed every emotion that she would feel, every pity, every empathy, everything out the window. So what's left? The real men make a decision, stick to that decision, no matter how bad it is, and they work it out with their spouses. Marriage is for better, for worse. Yeah, some marriages don't work out and people have to go their separate ways, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you're choosing to stay, then make that marriage a haven for your own self and have your peace of mind. And it's very funny that my brothers who go cheating around and everything, they get hurt when their wives do the same thing to them. I watched a video the other day on social media. I think it was here on Facebook. And a man left his wife, brought a side chick in the home, and was cheating on the wife with the side chick. And unbeknownst to him, the wife also had bisexual tendencies and fell for the side chick. So now the wife and the side chick are an item, and he's upset that the side chick is cheating on him with the wife. Like, I just found it very laughable. It's okay for you to do it. Now the shoe's on the wrong foot, and now you're screaming? Oh no, don't scream now. Is he screaming because it was the side chick? No, I don't think so. He would have screamed if it was any other woman too. But don't start what you can't finish. It takes both spouses to be in God, in one in God, never one-sided. Exactly. And it is both of your responsibilities to make the marriage work. All these bollocks that we've been fed as children, especially we African women, that the success of the marriage, it boils down to you, the woman. You have to be the Christian mother. You have to be the Christian woman. You have to uphold your home. You have to hold your marriage. That's bollocks. It takes two to tango. The woman can be sitting there doing everything, being diligent, trying the best that she can, but still, because the man is not prepared to do his bit to make it happen. And I know a lot of my brothers are not happy with me today because it's like I'm bashing them so much. It's like hot pepper, and it's so hot. But my sisters know next week I'm coming for them too. And be fair here. But we have to call a spade a spade. You want a home. You are supposed to be the head of the house. When the head is not in order, what can really survive? What? What will make it? When you, man, husband, you, all right, I am the head of the house. You have to submit to me. You claim submission as if submission is some kind of illness. But you're not prepared to do what you need to do. You see, when you're demanding things, kingship and all of those things, it comes with rights. Today, this is what our pastor taught in church today. Rights come with responsibilities. I live in a country called Canada. If you're a citizen of the land, you have rights. You have the right to vote as a citizen. You have the right to a Canadian citizenship, the right to a passport, the right to be given freedom of speech, freedom of expression, yada, yada, yada. Equally, you also have responsibilities too. Your responsibility is that you have to protect the laws of the land and uphold it at all costs. When you work, Uncle Trudeau has the right to take taxes from the money that you make. Yeah. He actually has first pickings of your best fruit before he gives you the rest. And you can't say nothing about that. So rights come with responsibilities. Yeah. Equally, in a marriage, you have lots of rights. I'm the man of the house. The woman has to respect me. She has to love me. She has to call me king. She has to this. She has to that. Those things also come with responsibilities. Yeah, Mr. Head of the house, provide a roof over the head of your wife and children. And stop making noise about it has to be 50-50. Yeah, responsibility. You must make sure your wife and children are fed and clothed properly so that we feel that we have an actual man in the house. Stop doing no 50-50. That's your responsibility too. You have to love your wife. She has to call you daddy. He's not my daddy. I have a daddy. I see a lot of women call their husbands daddy. You are not my daddy. My daddy is alive. You are my husband. I love you, but I have a daddy too. Right? Rights come with responsibilities. You have to fulfill those responsibilities as the head of the house. When there's no direction, when the man of the house abandons his wife and children and leaves for 3 whole days because of side chick, what kind of leadership is that? A lot of absentee fathers. You're sitting there, your children are going wayward into all kinds of things that you don't even know about, and you're calling this one head of the house. Which house? A lot of fathers are sitting there, your children are in so much emotional trauma, but they can't even open up to you because you're busy looking at some nyash. You don't have time for your own children. You're calling this one head of the house. Then when your kids OD, we have an opioid crisis here in North America, and it's worldwide now. You don't understand. Your children are being taught all kinds of things, be binary, be this, be that, and you don't even know what is going on in the curriculum of your children, and you're still calling yourself head of a house. Do you know what your kids study in school? Do you know who their best friends are? Do you know who they have relationships with? If your child is in university, do you know whether your daughter or your son has a boyfriend or not? Who does he or she hang around with? You don't know. You're leaving everything to your wife to do because she's their mother. Everything, their mother. Growing up, my dad used to buy us sanitary towels. He only had girls. So he knew. We could talk to our father about our menstrual cramps, everything. He knew everything about everything. Just like my mom did. If you don't foster good relationship, don't come and cry foul, please. If your children don't mention your name in the house and talk about you, and you've made yourself as Adolf Hitler in your house, your kids can't approach you, can't talk to you. You've made yourself into this tyrant. As soon as the children hear you turning the key to the house, everybody disappears. What is it? And you're surprised that this so-called kinship that you have is all crumbling down because you're not doing anything that makes you a king of the home. He has to submit to me. They have to respect me. They have to submit to me. Yeah, claim it like it's some sore thumb that is being cut off or sawn off your hand. Yeah. Those things, they don't come naturally. You must work for them. Work hard for them. You can only reap what you have sown. So if you want a good home, sow that. It costs a lot, a lot of time. And there are fathers who think they can throw money at everything. Everything is a money thing. Let's just throw money at it. Money will solve the problem. The children need your attention. You're a man of the house. You have daughters. The daughters need to be informed and made to feel that they are somebody by a man figure in their life. And you are that figure. What are you doing? You're busy looking at Mama and Kechi's Bobo and Fofo instead of focusing on your own home and looking after your children. And you want respect and submission. Rubbish. Then when your kids can't talk to you, can't express themselves, and then they have friends who are telling them all about other things that people are doing, smoking all kinds of ganja and all of these funny things. You're surprised that your children are involved in those things, but you don't pay attention to them. They can't talk to you about their feelings. There are some words that are absolute no-nos in people's houses. So there are things happening right under your roof and you don't even know about them. Your children are so traumatized and in so much pain, they can't feel that you are a safe space that they can talk to. So young kids are on social media and in all kinds of private, secret chat rooms where they are being groomed, either into prostitution or worse. Then one day, you wake up and your child is no more with you and you don't understand. I gave her everything. I gave him everything. Why did he do this to me? Yeah, because he could never talk to you. That's why. Do you know that there are children out there? There are chat rooms, private chat rooms, where people are teaching other children how to take their lives if that's what they want to do, and they are being shown how it is done. Do you know? You don't. You're just there. You're just claiming the king of the jungle. I'm the man of the house. I'm the man of the house. And your kids are suffering. And they can't even talk to you about it. Kids who are being abused, they can't tell their dad, they can't talk about it. Like, you can't say the word private part, you can't say punani, you can't say certain words in your home. It's forbidden. And when you do that to children, they'll go quiet, they'll pretend, they know the sorts of behaviors to put up around you for you to think that all is well, but all is not well. And if you see your children when they go outside, the things that they're able to say to their friends, you'll be amazed. And you are here fighting about that my wife does not respect me. She has to respect me. She must respect me. And your children, the children that are your future generation, yeah, they're suffering in silence. So man of the house, what are you doing? What are you doing? We women are always thought about how to keep the home, how to be good wife, how many of my brothers are also shown how to be good husbands? How many? We don't even have any good role models anyway to show our brothers how they can be good husbands. I'm sick and tired of this narrative and rhetoric about women. You have to be a good wife. You have a young teenage daughter and the mothers worry our daughters so much. You have to learn how to cook so you know how to cook so you can serve your husband. You have to know how to clean your down below so that it can be good enough and it can be succulent for your husband. You have to know how to clean your armpits. Everything is geared towards so you can be good for your husband. Who is teaching our sons how to be good enough for their wives? How they can be serviceable to their wives too. How they can also zip it, keep that thing in there, zip it and keep it there for their wives alone. And teach them the dignity and respect that comes with keeping yourself chaste and preserving yourself for that special woman. Who is teaching our sons how to be good kings? No, it's all about the women. You women, you have to learn how to wash your hair. You shouldn't put wrapper on you when you're at home. You have to make yourself sexy for your husband. You have to do this for everything is geared towards what you must do for the man. Who is teaching our sons how to be of good behavior for marriage? Are we grooming them? Are we teaching them what it means that you have to be emotionally available? When your wife is talking to you, you need to be quiet. You need to listen to what she's saying. You know what? A lot of people don't even know what communication is. The active listening is part of communication and is actually important. A lot of people think communication is just talking. So when your wife is busy telling you something, you're not listening. It's not registering because you're not listening. You are not listening. So it's just hard. We don't teach our sons none of this. Emotional intelligence, zero. Women are suffering. They're suffering. There's so many men who don't even know how to say sorry. They don't know how to say sorry. Imagine you're going through your menstrual thing. You're bleeding so much. You're in so much pain. Then you go and call your husband that, this thing that every woman does, you're making so much noise about it as if it's something. What is it? Are you the only woman who has a period? What is it? What is that? No empathy, zero empathy, nothing. You want to be the king of the jungle. You want to be given respect. It's very laughable. Right? So my brothers, yeah, today I gave you some very, very hot chili. I know. Very, very hot. I know. It hurts so much. But the truth has to be said. I'm coming from my sisters next week. They would also get their own chili too. But for today, it's for my brothers. If you want to have the last laugh in your marriage, start loving your wife. Go back to the drawing board. What was the thing that you loved so much about her back then that you said, Mama Nkechi Pikin, I must to have this one. Look at her. She is so beautiful. Oh my God. That thing. Go back to that place and fix all the things from there. That foundation that you didn't get right. Go back and dig deep. Maybe it needs more iron rods. Put more iron rods. Maybe you need to pump a lot more concrete in there. Pump it in. And make the substructure strong enough to carry the load. And everything else is history. Until that is done, you continue to have these issues and you will blame everybody and their dog for what is going on, when the actual reality of the fact is that you have not put your house in order. Any man who truly loves his wife like Christ loved the church and gave his life for it, it's a sacrificial thing. Any man who's able to do that will have a happy home. It only have to be a wicked woman who, it's not very much all there. To have a man who professes her, who loves her, who cherishes her, protects her, provides for her, who will still see all of that and still think it's not good enough, then that woman, But if you genuinely love your wife like Christ, look at how Christ loved the church. Like, it was so sacrificial. He put his very self down. I was watching a video this afternoon and the man who was teaching said, once you become married, you have to know that you have literally laid down your life. Like, your wife is you. Your wife is you. So if you start treating your wife as if she's some partner, some people, there was this rhetoric that was going around some time back about marriages and women are just strangers. They are just partners. They can leave you at any time. So they are not your family. Yes, your wife is not your family. The only real family you have are your siblings and your parents. Really? Really? But you trust this woman that you're hiding money and your resources from and giving it to side chick. But you eat that woman's food every day. Hey, then you men, some of you guys, you have a lot of faith, I love your faith. You are hiding things from the same woman that cooks food and feeds you every single day. You are hiding things from that person. Do you know what she can do to you? Like, think about it. I watch a lot of Crime Watch, Forensic Files. I watch a lot of that. Do you know what she can do to you? But you have so much faith. You eat her food, everything. But you're hiding things from that woman. You sleep in the same bed with her. You eat her apple every night. And you are still keeping things from her and treating her with so much disdain and disregard. Wow. Let me give you this last nugget and leave. Otherwise, I'll talk till 6 p.m. and I gotta go. My darling husband, if you want to have money, I mean like real money, and be successful and happy, treat your wife right. Any man who lets his wife cry tears, and this woman goes to sleep and prays to her God in the tears that you have caused. You will never see money in your lifetime. I'm not cursing you. It's the truth. It's the truth. Make your wife happy. You'll never lack anything in this life. I'm telling you. The tears of a woman is the biggest thing that you can do to yourself. I feel sorry for you. I know a man who caused his wife so much pain that this woman will sleep at night naked, rolling on their floor, back and forth, praying and crying and rolling herself. No clothes. She's only in her birthday suit doing that. Back and forth, back, and sometimes she'll sit on the carpet and be dragging her butt on and praying and crying and saying all kinds of things because she was in pain and agony. A man left her with nothing. Now, they are divorced. He has left, but he knows no peace. He's going around calling everybody. Where is my wife? Do you have my wife's number? Can I speak to my wife? Did I marry your wife for you? Why? Yeah, you make your wife cry. Even if you must leave your wife, you must settle things amicably. If you let this woman go to bed at night, lay down in birthday suit, roll over the floor because of you and the pain that you've caused her. Okay, this is a mystery. But I'm telling you, if you want to have peace in your life, pick a woman. Go out of your way to make sure that this woman is happy and never give her a reason to cry. And everything that you desire in this life will be yours. Try it and thank me later. Those of you who continue to think you're smart, look at this yeah girl, she come and sit here and make noise and shout and waste my time. Okay. I will, Catherine. I will. Then it's your own problem. Give your wife peace and you'll be the happiest man ever. I'm just telling you. Thank you so much, Sister Glory, that you understand what I'm saying. The people who are deep here, they get it. Sister Catherine, Sister Glory, you understand what Sister Dorcas, you understand what I'm saying. If you like, don't listen. Go and continue with your side chick and let's see what happens very shortly from now. But if you haven't gotten into the marriage yet, be intentional about the person that you're choosing to commit to, my sisters. Don't go and make your choice and come and cry to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I've heard enough tears. I've seen enough people in agony. Please, if you're not sure, don't do it. Please. Now let the men who have ears hear the sound of my voice and do what is right, and see whether you won't have the peace that surpasses all human understanding. I love you so much. And I can only tell you the unadulterated truth about what it is. I can never lie to you. My God will not make me sleep at night if I come and sit here and lie. I can only tell you the truth. I'll teach this to my nephews, to any man in my life who wants to listen. I will teach. And I'll teach my sisters also to make better choices. Don't throw all caution in the wind. And when you've done everything and now it's a big mess, now you come and be sitting there and be crying. No! Get ahead of the game. It is better to be 50 and single than 25 and misery. There's so many women I grew up with, went to school with, that I love so much. I think about some of them and I tear up. I actually cry because I remember all those dreams, expectations, the excitement that we had in our 20s. And I see some of my sisters today, and they look older than my mom in her 70s because of some marriage that they allowed society, parents, pressure, peer pressure to put them into. I love you so much. Pansy, God bless you. Love big and good night, darling. Good night too, sweetheart. Look after yourself. Be intentional about the person that you're allowing into your life. Don't just do it because everybody is doing. Can I live with this man? Does he listen to me? Does he even know who God is? If that's where you are. If you're a Christian, you're looking, how can two walk together unless they agree? Right? So whatever your faith is, does it align with what you're trying to do? If the answer is no, my sister, stay in your one corner. Chinere, how are you? I love you too, darling. Please, I'm begging you, take it from somebody who knows. I say these things now because of experiences that I've had my own self. And I don't want to see younger sisters of mine making those grave mistakes. A word to the wise is enough. If you're happy in yourself, you're contented in yourself, you know who you are, you understand who you are, you can stand on your own 2 feet and make your mark. You will diligently seek until you find that person who really gets you. Like I had one of my darlings this morning put a post up and she said, you know, don't waste so much time explaining. Like there's some people we surround ourselves with people that we always constantly have to be explaining ourselves to. But when you're with somebody or you have the people around you who just get you. You just gel with. They are in sync with you. You don't even have to open your mouth. Just by looking into your eyes, they know what you mean. You need those kinds of people. You don't want to waste your peace making noise and shouting about things that you can't change. I love you so much, my darling sisters. This one was for you. Look forward to a lot of powerful things coming up, because I went into hiding for the last couple days. And the fire that came out of that is what you've experienced today. Part 2 is coming next week. And I know that is even going to be fully more powerful because I'm going into hiding again. When those times come, when you come back, fully refreshed, empowered, and everything, woof, it's something. But today is for my sisters. And my brothers feel that I've upset them. They've all gone quiet on me. But they know what I said was the truth. Next Sunday, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 9 p.m. England time, 8 p.m. Ghana time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Let's just do that. Next week's is coming. It's going to be something else for my sisters against my brothers too, so that this conversation is balanced. I love you so much. For those of you who have been here and have felt that any of what I said made sense, please share this video on your personal profile page. There's somebody that is in your circles then needs to hear. You feel the presence of God. God bless you, because that's where I've been. It's been something else. I've covered in goosebumps. It's like there's something happening inside of me. It's a whole something. And it's just more of it is coming, because I'm going to be going in and out of hiding for some time whilst certain things get fixed. And pay attention to the little details. Sometimes God is like, there's so many things out there that are happening, but we just are not in tune with what is going on. We've switched on off our antennas, and so we're not seeing what is happening. Don't wait till you get into the situation and then you're now crying foul. Please, I beg you. Sister Graceful, God bless you. Please share this video. I know why I'm saying this. There's so many people that are hurting, and some people need to hear these things. Maybe you've already married, so you feel like you can't do anything about it. But even still, if you listen to some of the things that are being said, you can correct some of the things that you've done in wisdom, so that your life is so much more better than what it is right now. So if you're not ashamed, please share this video on your personal profile page. I'll stick it on YouTube after this chat so that it's on there as well. But please share the video. Comment, do whatever you want to do or you need to do. For those of you who've gone the extra mile to share, send me stars and all of these powerful things, God richly bless you. I love you. I love your comments, Sister Catherine, Sister Grace, Sister Rose, all of you. I can't name names. I don't want to get into any trouble. But thank you so much. Your invaluable support, your words, your commentary, it keeps the fire going. You've shared it. God bless you, Marvelyn. Thank you so much for everything that you have done and continue to do. Next week, we're coming back, Sister Dorcas. It's going to be something else. I love you very much. If you want to sit and talk, because there's a lot of people that are going through that phase of things as well. They're just looking for somebody who can be real with them, they can talk to and express themselves to. www.sikaeducates.com. That's all you need to do. Just book yourself a session. Come and let's talk. I will just give you me. Tell you the truth as it is. Unadulterated, no sugar coating, nothing. I'm not saying that to hurt you, but to help you elevate yourself to the next level. Maybe there's something that you want to do with yourself, but somehow along the way, like you've just lost your way in life and you don't really know where to begin from. There's so many women who, got married and, and all of that. And now you've lost your zeal, your passion for your own self. If you're one of those people, just go there, www.sikaeducates.com. Book yourself a session and come and let's talk. I really love to help people, especially my sisters. There's so many middle-aged people, so much talent, and you're just sitting on it and not really doing anything with it. It's time for you to do something with yourself. Last but not the least, I've made so much noise about Tap Tap Send. Is this app that we all use to send remittances to our loved ones back home. I don't know whether you've heard about it or not. Download the app. You can get it on Android or Apple or whatever you're using. If you use the promo code AKUSIKA for your first transaction and you live in Canada or the States, you get an extra $15 to send to your loved ones wherever they are. If you're in Europe, it's €5. In England or the United Kingdom, it's an extra £5 to send out there. And I use it all the time, even after that first transaction, because the rates are brilliant. I love everybody so much. Please follow, please share, please subscribe. Everything you need to do, do it. We are on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. This family needs to get bigger. 60,000 is great, but we need to get out there. It's a lot more people. that need these messages, and I can only do it with your help. So please help me help you, and let's make the world a better place. So it's your humble servant Seeker in the house, about to say adios. I love you so much, Sister Dorcas, Sister Catherine. Please don't forget to come back next week. It's going to be pepper them for you, but pepper them for you does good pepper them. So let's see what our brothers are going to be saying then when we come back next week. God richly bless you. I love you so much. Have a blessed week. May everything that you touch be blessed, be fruitful, and multiply. I know you'll be there, marveling. I can't wait to see you. God richly bless you. Take care of yourself. Sister Grace, have an amazing week ahead, and I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Bye.